Now at 5, how the Carl Junction School District is protecting its systems and students from cyber attacks. Plus, how area food truck drivers are dealing with the intense heat. And
the Justice Department announces a special counsel in the investigation into the president's son, Hunter Biden. I'm Natalie Brand with details on why the U.S. Attorney General made that decision.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
In the coming weeks, students will be back in the classroom. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Tanya Bach. Many will complete assignments on Chromebooks and tablets as cyber risks continue to grow. It's a topic that parents we spoke to have at the top of their mind, keeping their kids safe online. We talked to Carl Junction School's technology director. He says don't reuse passwords for different accounts. You can use a password manager app so you don't need to remember all your different logins. He also suggests parents talk to their kids about what they're seeing online.
Both Apple and Android phones today have parental controls built in, so if you spend a little time figuring out how to use those on your phone, that's a good place to start.
My husband and I monitor everything that he's watching, making sure that there's parental controls, and then we limit the amount of time that he's getting on those as well.
Marshall also advises people to pay attention when clicking on external links and using two-factor authentication to add a second layer of security to online accounts. Food Truck Friday is underway in Carthage, Missouri, with temps in the 90s today. Food truck workers battle the heat coming from outside the truck along with the heat coming off the appliances. Now, one food truck made sure to equip the kitchen with a new AC unit and a fan that pushes out the rising hot air before the record-setting heat. But for the ventilation system, it has two purposes.
Ventilation system here on top of the oven that takes cool air from this side, brings it over the top of the oven, and takes it out the other side. And that's what we call our smell-o-vision, because the smells of the pizza cooking in the oven get pushed out into the crowd, and then of course people go crazy and they have to have a slice of Fat Tony's pizza.
Well, the Carthage Food Truck Friday is every second Friday of the month till October. Well, they definitely picked a hot Friday this month. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us.
Yeah, it's definitely been a very hot day for us today, but we've had some clouds kind of working in over the past couple hours, so that kind of capped off our afternoon highs. Most of us are sitting low to mid 90s outside for us right now. You can see those clouds increasing, even a couple little tiny sprinkles which have been popping up, but some bigger thunderstorms just west of the region. I think through the evening hours, these are going to kind of scoot in to the south and to the east, so we are going to have a few random showers. Severe thunderstorm watch to our north, where they've had some bigger thunderstorms near the Kansas City metropolitan area. As we go through the evening, we slide back through the 90s, 80s. Pretty good chance for thunderstorms late tonight. We're going to talk about that here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. 3 members of the Kansas Supreme Court want to make it easier for prosecutors to convict defendants of kidnapping. In a dissenting opinion, the justices said the court should abandon a legal rule it has used for nearly 50 years in reviewing criminal cases. It stems from a case involving several crimes, including aggravated kidnapping. The majority invoked a rule imposed in a 1976 decision that declared a defendant could not be convicted of kidnapping if the actions covered by that charge are inherent in another crime. The Justice Department today announced a special counsel in the investigation into the president's son, Hunter Biden. The government also announced the talks for a plea deal are at an impasse. Natalie Brand has the developing details from Washington, D.C.
Attorney General Merrick Garland announced a special counsel to investigate President Biden's son, Hunter. The move gives U.S. Attorney David Weiss expanded powers to continue his probe into Hunter Biden's tax and gun charges.
This appointment confirms my commitment to provide Mr. Weiss all the resources he requests. It also reaffirms that Mr. Weiss has the authority he needs to conduct a thorough investigation and to continue to take the steps he deems appropriate independently,
Weiss, who is a Trump appointee, began investigating Hunter Biden in 2019. In June, he announced a plea deal in which Biden would plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax crimes and would dismiss a felony gun charge if he remained drug-free and committed no additional crimes for 2 years. That plea deal fell apart late last month when the judge in the case questioned the terms of the deal and whether it was in the public's best interest.
I don't think you move David Weiss into the special counsel category unless there might be something else, unless there is something that could come in the future.
House Republicans, who are leading their own investigations into Hunter Biden and the president, have long called for a special counsel in the case, but say they don't agree with the attorney general's choice. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy on social media said, quote, "If Weiss negotiated the sweetheart deal that couldn't get approved, how can he be trusted as special counsel?" Attorney General Garland says Weiss has told Congress he will have the ultimate authority over deciding where, when, and whether to file charges. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
The White House is not commenting on the appointment, but Hunter Biden's attorneys issued a statement saying, "We are confident when all of these maneuverings are at an end, my client will have resolution and will be moving on with his life successfully." Iran and the U.S. have reached a deal to free 5 American citizens in exchange for releasing billions of dollars in blocked funds. President Biden signed off on the agreement, which is already drawing criticism from Republicans. The Americans may be back on U.S. soil as soon as September. Over the coming weeks, Iran will gain access to $6 billion held in a restricted account in South Korea. Still ahead, saving some money on school supplies.
Parents are expected to spend a record amount on back-to-school shopping. I'm Haley Ott with tips on how to save.
And next in Health Watch, a new study shows you may not need those 10,000 steps a day to reduce your risk of early death. Topping today's Health Watch, new data shows suicides are on the rise in America. The CDC found suicide deaths increased 5% in 2021 and another 2.6% in 2022. Doctors say the nation needs to address what's becoming a growing mental health crisis. The greatest increases for suicides were among Americans 45 and older. Groups that saw declines in suicide rates include young people and Native Americans. For years, reaching 10,000 steps a day has been the goal, many trying to stay fit and healthy. But now a new study finds walking less than that each day may be enough. Ian Lee reports.
Improving your health begins one step at a time, whether it's taking a stroll in the park or climbing a mountain. And many aim for that magic number.
10,000, and I do a lot more than that a day.
But now, new research suggests taking just 4,000 steps a day will start to lower your risk of dying from any cause.
Up to now, it has not been clear what is the optimal number of steps when we can see health benefits.
European researchers analyzed walking data from more than 220,000 people around the world, finding it benefits all walks of life.
And it doesn't stop there. Researchers also found just over 2,300 steps a day is enough to benefit your heart and blood vessels.
But take the new data in stride. The research showed a 15% decrease in the risk of dying from any cause with an increase of 1,000 steps and a 7% reduction in dying from cardiovascular disease with 500 more daily steps. Not enough physical activity is blamed for 3.2 million deaths each year. That's the 4th leading cause worldwide, according to the World Health Organization.
That's my main reason why I go out and walking and jogging.
So putting your best foot forward is a step toward a healthier, longer life. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Health experts give these tips for people looking to walk. Find a friend or family member, take the stairs instead of an elevator, and set an hourly reminder to get up and move. Remember, you only need to hit 4,000 steps. Yoga and breathing exercises can help people with asthma breathe easier. Research published in the journal Annals of Medicine showed that lung function can be improved with regular aerobic training, yoga, and breathing training. In the past, exercise had been considered risky for asthma patients. The latest research shows it can actually be beneficial if done in consultation with a doctor. That's a look at today's health news. A little later, what a new report shows about how much family spending has increased since last year.
Plus, we got more thunderstorms in the forecast as we go into the weekend. Details coming up. Well, definitely turned out to be a hot one for us today. Very humid, as well as temperatures and our heat indices shot up throughout the daytime hours. And we've been watching a few showers trying to pop up, especially in our far western counties. Most of us just have cloudy skies at this point in time, and that's what we're going to see as we go through the rest of the evening hours. Man, this thing locked up on me. Let's see if I can get it up. Oh, wonderful computers. Let's see. Come on. There we go. We got it going. All right, temperatures sitting into the low to mid 90s across the region. We had some clouds that have kind of worked in over the past couple hours, so I kind of capped off our high temperatures just a little bit, but it's been very humid outside. Look at those mid and upper level clouds, 7th and range line sitting at 92, southerly winds 5 to 10, but our heat index, it feels like 104 degrees. That's why we've had the heat advisory in effect throughout the daytime hours. Feels like 106 in Stockton, Nevada, 111 at Grand Lake, 114 in Veneta. So it's very, very muggy outside. And we're going to see that throughout the evening as we slide back through the 90s, 80s. A lot of clouds. Could get a few random showers throughout the evening hours, but better chances for thunderstorms are going to roll in later on tonight. All right, look at the clouds increasing. Not a whole bunch underneath the clouds. We do have a couple little sprinkles, but most of this isn't even reaching the ground. We are getting some thunderstorms far western counties. You can see Wichita on the edge here. So as these work in, they're going to fall apart, but don't be surprised if you live in our western counties and get a few random showers. Some bigger storms just north of Kansas City. That's where they have been really throughout the daytime hours. But with this little wave that is working in, this should flare up showers and thunderstorms later on tonight, right on top of the region. So our rain chances really go up after midnight through the morning, and then back down, then back up again tomorrow night. So we're going to have some rounds which are going to push through. All right, let's go through time. We'll stop at midnight still. A few random little showers out there. As we go into the morning hours, look at this, 3 a.m., scattered thunderstorms start to pop up. Some of those storms could be on the strong side. These storms continue to work in as we go through the morning hours. Here's 5:30 in the morning, still showers and thunderstorms, 8:30 in the morning, and then slowly sink in our southern counties by the noon hour. So most of us will start to dry out by mid to late morning. So at least we're going to get some scattered showers and thunderstorms in here. We heat back up into low to mid 90s for highs. And then tomorrow night, here we go again. Here's 10:30. Showers, thunderstorms increase again, push in after midnight tomorrow night. Rounds of heavy amounts of rain, which we definitely need. And some of these storms could be on the strong side as well. So at least we got some rounds of showers and thunderstorms, which are going to be coming in as we go through the next few days. Man, I'm going to have to fix this. It's all over the place. I think I need to restart my computer, but we're going to, the numbers are right. The information's not. 92 tomorrow, 94 on Sunday.
It's going to be hot. Just know that.
It is going to be hot.
And we'll make it through it.
All righty.
All right. Thanks, Doug. Well, search and rescue efforts are underway in Hawaii for those missing because of this week's devastating wildfires. At least 55 people have been killed, and officials expect that number will rise. The state's governor toured the devastation yesterday, calling it the largest natural disaster in Hawaii state history. President Biden approved a disaster declaration for the wildfires, clearing the way for federal aid. Coming up, we'll have some tips on how to save money on back-to-school shopping. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the average family spent $700 more a month in July than they did 2 years ago. That's according to Moody's Analytics, and it's all due to the cumulative impact of high inflation. Chief economist at Moody's says most of the monthly increase in spending is from the soaring cost of housing, groceries, vehicles, and services like cable. The good news is consumer price growth has eased significantly. Back to school shopping is well underway, and parents are expected to shell out a record amount on supplies this year. Haley Ott shows us some ways to save.
Oh, you need a hard plastic pencil box.
Parents are checking those supply lists twice.
Right there, those lunch boxes.
As they plan to spend a record amount on back-to-school shopping. The National Retail Federation says families with students in elementary to high school are expected to fork over $890. Those with college kids, a record $1,366 per student. One reason for the increase, about a third of shoppers are buying big-ticket items like computers and phones. New data show prices for smartphones are actually down 17.6% from last year, and books and other educational supplies are down 3%. Children's footwear is also cheaper.
Being able to find it on sale is always going to be a good thing.
Samantha Gordon from Consumer Reports says many retailers are offering deals, so compare prices. More than a dozen states offer summer sales tax holidays, which add to the savings.
Having two to shop for since things have went up over the last couple of years, and the sales tax, that's going to help out a lot.
Experts say while one-stop shopping is tempting, it's important to take your time and be methodical.
If you're really looking to save money, the best strategy is to spread out your shopping over time and over different retailers.
And time's not up when the school bell rings.
You can ask teachers which items are going to be needed right away and what you might be able to hold off on until the later months.
Advice that could help shoppers.
I try to penny pinch whatever I can.
Stretch every dollar. Haley Ott, CBS News, Clifton, New Jersey.
According to the National Retail Federation, total back-to-school and back-to-college spending is expected to surpass $41 billion this year. Well, Target has recalled more than 2 million scented candles sold exclusively at its stores because the candles' glass jars may suddenly shatter while the wick is burning. The recall notice says the candles come in jars that can crack or break during use, posing laceration and burn risk. Target has so far received 19 reports of the jars breaking or cracking during use. The Supreme Court has temporarily blocked a nationwide settlement with OxyContin maker Purdue Pharma. The settlement would shield members of the Sackler family who own the company from civil lawsuits tied to the opioid crisis. The High Court will hear arguments before the end of the year over whether the settlement can proceed. Final check of the forecast is next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, we'll have more on the devastating fires in Hawaii. And then on KOAM News at 6, we'll have more on efforts to protect the cybersecurity of Carl Junction schools. Plus, authorities in Jasper County arrest 2 men found with hundreds of pounds of telecommunication wire. And we'll hear from the Lamar Tigers as they look to claim another state football title this year. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Well, scientists discover a new species of a giant amphibian after its fossil was found in Australia. 240 million year old fossil was inside quarry rocks and were intended for constructing a wall. Now, the new species has been named Arena-Air-Patan supinatus, which means supine sand creeper. It's believed to have inhabited freshwater rivers during the Triassic period. Scientists say the fossil shows nearly the entire skeleton and the outline of its skin.
Those sand creepers, I tell you.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, actually it is.
Now it's your turn to pronounce the name.
No, I'm not going to. All right, for us, showers, thunderstorms rolling in, especially late tonight. We're going to have a few scattered ones out there throughout the evening, but bigger storms after 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. These are going to last through the morning hours, then a break, 92. More thunderstorms rolling in tomorrow night.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. Of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow.